Part 55. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 541. Cheers. Lin Mei was a warm person. Knowing that Yingwan couldn't drink, she toasted them with a glass of juice and also toasted Su Han. With her there, the atmosphere was quite lively. It was the first time for the special forces to eat the food made by Yingwan herself, and they were flattered. Everyone was well behaved and kept silent while eating. Lin Mei toasted them because she saw that they were too bored. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. The movie I starred in will be released next summer vacation. I will give you tickets to watch it then. The special forces didn't know when they could have a holiday yet. When they heard this, they must have said politely, "Of course. I will support you when the time comes. I wish you a big box office success." Everyone can say nice words. Lin Mei drank the juice as if she was drinking alcohol. She looked at the silent Su Han with bright eyes. "Don't you have anything to congratulate me?" The other special forces immediately showed some ambiguous eyes. Su Han and the others were not allowed to drink alcohol, so they drank juice, but he seemed to be a little drunk. However, in the night, his expression was not obvious. He said with a stern face, "I wish you a big box office success." Lin Mei laughed. Yingwan, who was sitting in the pavilion, was eating her meal carelessly. A gust of wind blew, and she was still a little cold. She subconsciously shrank her palm and ate with one hand. Sci-Lu noticed it and said with a smile, "Why don't you wear warm gloves?" Yingwan didn't bring them because she had to cook before. Now Sci-Lu saw that he didn't wear gloves either, but he went into the house and took out a pair of brand new plush gloves and stuffed Yingwan's palm into them. Yingwan stretched out her hand for him to stuff while eating, and such a scene made the other side sigh. Of course, Yingwan's meal was not peaceful. She had to answer many calls, from the capital, abroad, and all over the place. She didn't say more than 2 words to Sci-Lu during the whole meal. Xian Lanyi's grandmother called her. She had asked her to go to celebrate the New Year, but Yingwan couldn't go. Now that she knew Sci-Lu was there, she talked to Sci-Lu in the video. Seeing that Yingwan was so lively, she felt much happier. Then there was the call from Bai Ya and the others. Bai Ya was celebrating the New Year at Zhu Liu's house. They were all video calls, and the lively atmosphere could be seen. Bai Ya also mocked Sci-Lu for not coming to accompany her during the New Year, saying what kind of man he was. As a result, Yingwan turned around and Bai Ya saw Sci-Lu's Sima face. "Bai Ya." He hung up the video call. Yingwan laughed, and soon there was another call from abroad. Although Sci-Lu occasionally received some New Year congratulations, it was not as frequent as Yingwan. On the bright side, many people actually missed Yingwan. Because of her achievements, many people may give face, but at least some people are sincerely concerned about her. Even the big boss took the time to call Yingwan to wish her a happy new year. In this life, if you can achieve this, you have nothing else to ask for. He propped up his chin and looked at Yingwan silently. He was full very quickly. Yingwan finally had some time. After all, the food had been outside for a long time and was a little cold. She felt full after eating a few chopsticks. She put down her chopsticks and said to Sci-Lu, "Let's go around the village." Sci-Lu paused and said, "Okay." Yingwan went out with Sci-Lu. Several special forces members winked at each other and didn't follow. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 542. Anyway, the village is full of surveillance cameras and other protections. Yingwan took Sci-Lu to take a walk, but in fact, he went to each household to pay New Year's greetings. Fortunately, most of them had almost finished eating, so they welcomed Yingwan's New Year's greetings. There were many young people who came back from the village. Knowing Yingwan's identity, they didn't dare to be unruly. With Sci-Lu's company, everyone behaved very politely. With the children around, Yingwan took the initiative to give red envelopes. The children were so happy that they were snotty. Sci-Lu frowned when he saw it. I didn't prepare it. After all, he never had the habit of giving red envelopes, that was his father's business. I just gave it. Yingwan whispered, it's just a courtesy. When I was here, everyone would give me red envelopes. At that time, getting red envelopes was still a rare joy for Yingwan. When I was a child, I really liked money. Money can buy food. When she was 2 or 3 years old and had not officially left the village, she also liked to eat candy. Later, when she had endless candy, she could never find that feeling again no matter what she did. Maybe it wasn't bought by Grandpa. In her memory, Grandpa always bought her a can of candy during the Chinese New Year, and then said, eat slowly, all yours. She felt very happy at that time, and she still remembers the joy and secret happiness. Children and adults are actually two different creatures. They are too easy to be satisfied. Seeing that Yingwan's smile had a hint of inexplicable taste, Sci-Lu held her hand and said, I will give you a lot of red envelopes. Yingwan smiled and said, thank you. After walking around the village for a while, every household stopped to talk for a while, and the village chief grandfather pulled her to talk for a long time, and finally asked Sci-Lu to take good care of Yingwan, and Sci-Lu naturally agreed. Time passed quickly, and in a blink of an eye it was 11:50 midnight, and every household began to prepare to set off salutes. This is a custom, which means a new beginning in the new year. Everyone was very happy, and the children did not sleep tonight, and hid away with laughter, watching the adults get busy. Yingwan and Sci-Lu stood on the hillside. With a bang, the fireworks tube exploded, and clusters of fireworks flew into the sky, exploding into colorful and magnificent shapes, illuminating the entire sky around them. In the midst of the fireworks, Sci-Lu heard Yingwan's voice in the gap between the fireworks. Sci-Lu, my experiment will have important progress within a year at the latest. I don't know whether it will succeed or fail. When I come out, we will get married. Sci-Lu froze. It's not that he hadn't thought about proposing to Yingwan, and he even thought about it many times, what kind of surprise to prepare for her. However, he also thought that he and Yingwan had only been dating for 2 months, and proposing to her was simply not reliable, and at least he had to wait for a while. He never thought that she would ask for this matter in person. Even if she said 1 year later, it was at least a promise. She would not make a promise that would not be fulfilled. After the stiffness, there was a huge ecstasy that swept over his body. He didn't think that the things he dreamed of would become a reality so quickly, even if there was still a year, but he felt that it was long enough. As a result, he did not answer immediately. Yingwan turned to look at him in confusion. Don't you want to get married? Of course not. Sci-Lu smiled helplessly. I should do this kind of thing. I have to prepare to propose. It's the same, no matter you or me. Yingwan smiled. The fireworks were blazing, and soon it was 12 o'clock. A bell rang from somewhere, and there seemed to be the sound of villagers formally congratulating. Sci-Lu turned his head and saw Yingwan's beautiful profile. She also whispered, Happy New Year. Sci-Lu's eyes gradually darkened. Perhaps the atmosphere was approaching, he responded, Happy New Year. My baby. He lowered his head and finally kissed the red lips. Bang. The fireworks seemed to be congratulating. Lin Mei in the distance covered her mouth and burst into tears. In the shadow behind her, Su Han stood silently behind her, staring at this side, but with a smile on his lips. End of the full text. I said it would end early because everything that should be written has been written. There were some twists and turns along the way, not because of anyone, but because of some things happening in the author's family. Some changes have occurred, and I will not continue to write new books. Thank you for this brief meeting. I love you.